All right, what's going on? So we are doing our max effort upper. Um, so same kind of deal as Monday with the max effort lower. General scheme is kind of the same. You have the max effort lift, and then we have one primary accessory, which I normally do another press because I'll do barbell max effort and then like a dumbbell press, usually of some kind, for a little bit higher reps. And then we'll do a row and a pull down, and then some accessory shit at the end, which is normally like something for the posterior chain, whether it's traps, upper back complex, delts, whatever. So that's generally how it goes. Today we are using the axle bar, which I don't think you guys have seen this yet either. So axle bar is cool. I like it a lot because obviously with the bar being thicker, it puts your wrist into a better position. Which, if you normally have some sort of wrist pain or even just like small hands, so you have difficulty with keeping knuckles towards the ceiling with a traditional bar, axle bar feels fucking great, dude. And if you don't have an axle bar, you don't have the room for one, or you don't want to spend the money on one, fat grips, those little rubber fucking accessory things that you can put on a regular bar, those are pretty cheap last I checked. So I mean, copping a pair of those and using that would give you a similar effect. And so you could always use those instead. So anyway, with all that being said, no chains or bands or anything like that yet. So it's just straight bar, axle bar, working up to a max. Previous was like 327, I think, because the bar is like 22 pounds. So at 327, I mean, that's a decent amount, but we did just put up 335, like what, last week, 2 weeks ago? So, I don't know. We'll see if we can match it, maybe beat it by 5, whatever. And then, yeah, all the accessory shit is super straightforward. So we'll go ahead and dive into it. Like I said, the axle bar itself is 22 pounds. So you guys are going to see this fucking fly, at least initially. And if you can tell, I don't know if you can see it from there, I have tape on the middle of the bar so that I know where the middle of the bar is. I have no markers or anything like that along the actual shaft of the bar to like tell me where to put my fingers. So that's the only downside. I just kind of line myself up with the tape in the middle, and then I just kind of where I normally put my hands on the bar. And I really try not to overthink it, you know? But you may see a little bit of a grip change. It just kind of depends on how things feel. Just trying to find a good position that the press feels good from. So since it is a lighter bar, I don't do any mini jumps. I just slap the 45s on there and get to work. This is 112, not 135. This is 112. I know it's going to be a little weird to get used to. This is 202 because we don't make the small jumps with this bar. Right, so we're going straight to 202. And I'm thinking I'll probably just jump straight to 292 for the single. Because, I mean, it feels heavy, but it's moving all right. And I don't know if I want to do an interim jump, but like most things, I think once we just see how this rep feels, that'll clear up that decision. feel like I'm saying, like it feels heavy, but it moves like it's an empty bar. So I'll go 292 for sure. But I'm also gonna chalk up. All right. This is 292, so not nearly as impressive as it looks. But this should be cake, and then we'll kind of see where to go from here. Because again, previous record was 327, so not much more than this. And if we can beat it, sick. Just like Monday. If we can beat the PR, cool. I take it. If not, we just match or get as close as we can. Because again, max effort training is literally just that day's max effort. It's whatever you have. Because really, the whole max effort method is just about exposure to maximal loads. That's all that element is. It's not making you stronger in the general strength sense, right? It's not making you some sort of absolute fucking unit. It's just getting your nervous system used to what fucking heavy feels like. So that when you actually go for PRs, it's not that big of a deal. It's not as shocking to the system. It's not as scary. It's not as anxiety inducing because you're used to what that feels like. And not to mention, this is more powerlifting specific, but you don't get multiple reps to clean up your technique. You get one. You get one shot to make it not look like a fucking mess and to do it right. So this is nothing but practice. That's why you also don't want to go too crazy with your max effort. You still want technique to be there because building technique under heavy loads, being able to prevent or minimize as much breakdown as possible is a good thing. Now, albeit some things are going to happen no matter what because it's unavoidable, like knee cave on a squat or upper back rounding on a deadlift. Like those things are just going to happen because the weight's fucking heavy. So you just do your best to minimize it. Enough yapping. I didn't feel too bad. I felt a little off balance, but I don't know where. It was probably my hands, but I don't know. It went up anyway, but I could feel the imbalance there, so I got to figure that out. So 292. Let's do 312, I think. Or 317, maybe. Maybe if we go 317 and then hop, skip, and a leap to 332. I don't know, man. Fuck it. All right, 317 on the bar. Belt on as well. I'm going to do better. Try and line this up better. Maybe I should mark this. I don't know. Nothing really sticks because as soon as you start to sweat, it doesn't matter. It comes right off. Ooh. Definitely felt more balanced, but that felt like the peak of my max effort for sure. I don't know if I have 10 more in me. I mean, I could certainly try. I don't know, man. I'm going to be real. I don't think so. I mean, if I did go up, it would probably be one hell of a grinder. But I mean, that felt smooth for what it was. So I might just leave it there. I'm going to rest. And if you guys see me set up for the next exercise, then you know I was like, not happening. But let me just sit on it for a bit and think if I want to go up or not. Because I have a general idea when I'm doing an exercise how hard I want something to be to validate going up. And again, like I had just mentioned, there's a certain amount of technique breakdown that will always occur. Like, well, it's not really technique breakdown, but like bar speed obviously slows as you get closer to that threshold, right? And so bar speed isn't technically the problem whenever I'm like gauging whether to go up. It's definitely a consideration, but I don't necessarily consider it a problem because I'm really good at grinding repetitions. So there's been times when I thought I didn't have any left and I go again and it goes up too. It's other things like my ass flying off the bench or the bar windmilling or one side lagging behind the other or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna rest though. I'll be back. Let me sit on it for a bit. So we're just gonna send it, dude, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Like I said earlier, the bar just feels heavy. Like when I go for the unrack, this motherfucker just feels heavy as shit. So sometimes it be like that, buddy. But see, like I said, just try harder, forehead. So at least we matched. And honestly, with how that moved, I probably could have eked out like 332, to be honest with you. But I feel like that was an appropriate amount of grind. And at least I matched. So now the question is, do I go up again? No, I don't. But 327 is good because we matched. And I have a few more axle bar variations throughout the entire block. Albeit with some bands and chains and stuff. So we'll kind of see where we end up. But one of the things that I don't believe I've mentioned yet, but one of the things that is really good for max effort too is even if you match weight on the bar, if you're able to do it at a lesser RPE, that's still progress. So, because you're not always going to have physical improvements in terms of more weight on the bar, but sometimes just your efficiency improves. So the amount of hype that you need, bar speed, perceived exertion, all of that can be signs of improvement without actually loading more weight on the bar. And in terms of training for the rest of your life with minimal or no injuries, I mean, we take those. I'm going to be real. We take those. So with that being said, that really didn't feel that hard. It was a grinder, but it didn't really feel that hard. Obviously, given the way I popped up and started talking, right? So with those things in mind, I am going to call it there, and we're going to move on to incline dumbbell bench press. I believe we're doing heavy sets of 6. And if I hadn't already mentioned it, typically how I do for conjugate is just I work up to a rep max on literally everything, unless otherwise specified. So heavy sets of 6 on incline, and then yeah, bro, we'll keep it moving. So let's go. All right, so if you guys can't already tell, I got the incline bench. Sorry, I'm out of frame. At 30 degrees. So we're going to do a 6 RM. I'm going to start at 50 and then make a jump to 65 and then a final jump to 75 because our previous best was 70 for 6. And we've been dumbbell bench pressing this whole time, so I imagine the strength has gone up. But again, I'm the king of small wins. So instead of going for 80, we're just going to go for 75, see how it feels. If 75 feels like cake, we go for 80, etc. And then I just take my sweet time climbing up. That's all. So 50's up first. Nice and easy. I was wondering why this felt so light. One of my dumbbells is only on 55. You know what that means? How many reps did I do? I don't even know. I think it was 3. And I partially did that just as a joke because I think it's funny, but I don't actually take it that seriously. I just thought it was funny because I was filming. But anyway, that was 65 for 6. So we're gonna go up by 10 more pounds. 75 shouldn't be too bad. See. Oh. 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 Ooh. Nice. That was a good set. Felt pretty good. All right. Now I'm moving into wide grip lat pull down. I believe it sets at 8, I think. So we'll do the same thing, working up to an 8 RM. Then afterwards, I got seated rows. I don't remember for how many. 15, I think. So we're almost done. Cruising. Yeah, 8 reps here, starting nice and light with 90 pounds on the stack. Previous best, I believe, is 135. So we'll do a couple ramps to get there. It's just 8 reps. $115 on the stack. This is set number 2. Because for 3, I'm going to go for the PR, which will be 140. Again, I am the king of small wins. Now, I highly recommend it because it's how I've been able to train as long as I have. Nice. Straps, just because I don't care. Emphasis is on back, not my grip. Oh yeah, that's heavy too. Let's fucking go. This is 140 on the stack. Oh. Oh. Nice. Oh yeah. That's fucking great. I'll leave those on the side. Oh, angles 90s down here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's just so my hands can rotate as I'm doing the row, because you know me, I like freedom. Cue the eagle noise. Oh. Yeah, 90 pounds on the stack. I just realized this post right here probably blocks my entire movement. Sorry, guys. But here we go. So I normally go pronated or internally rotated when the arms are straight, and then supinated or palms up when the arms are back. Nice. All right, throwing a 25 on. All right, this is probably the last one here because 115 is quite the jump. I think last time I did like 105 or 100. Because remember, I'm just trying to beat the logbook as I train. That's all. Not necessarily training to failure. If I do go to failure, it's purely by coincidence. Otherwise, I just beat the logbook. Hopefully this is a better angle for you guys too. Oh yeah, that's heavy. Oh. Oh. Whew. Whew. Nice. I'm gonna call it there. We're gonna finish up with face pulls. Sorry, out of frame. We're gonna finish up with face pulls, which I'm gonna pull the bench up because I like to do face pulls off the high pulley. So I'm gonna roll the bench up, tall kneeling on the bench. We got like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sleepy. We're gonna do 3 sets of 30. And yeah, that'll be the end. I sat down, that was a mistake. I try to stay standing because otherwise my rest periods turn into like fucking, I'm out here for fucking ever. I sat down, that was a mistake. It's all your guys' fault because I only sat down to talk to you. But my rack is like 96 inches, right? So I have to use the bench to support myself to get high enough here. Hopefully, I have to scoot back just a little bit. I'm getting pulled forward just a little bit. If I go split, just so I have some forward leg drive here. I wanted to do tall kneeling, but I was getting pulled forward, so I had to put the leg down. I'm gonna try one more time in that tall kneel. I think I probably just don't have enough space on either way because I'd rather be like knees right here. And my bench isn't quite. You know what I could do though? Holy shit. I'm a fucking genius. I don't know if this will help though. Maybe it is better with knees closer. I don't fucking know. Ugh. One more. All right, last one. Last set of 30. Now you may be asking, why don't you PR and heavy load the face pull? Well, certain exercises don't really lend themselves too well to heavy loading. They can be moderately heavy, but usually anything below 10, the exercise just feels like shit because it's not really meant to be loaded that heavy. Either the muscles that are responsible for the lift are small, relatively speaking, or potential force output is low, or whatever. Or it doesn't just benefit from more muscular, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Mechanical tension. It benefits more from muscular endurance. So like the Met stress effect, right? And I'm not saying that it's like a terrible idea to load it heavy, because I mean you could technically load anything heavy. It's all relative. But it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't really make sense in a program when other things are better suited to be loaded heavy. And not to mention higher reps just feel better on those movements. Not to mention from a rehab perspective, some exercises are beneficial because of the movement that they are. And when done in repetition, feels really good. Not necessarily something designed to be loaded for extremely heavy sets. And so what I mean by that is just like, if you have someone that's only active for like an hour a day, doing reverse lunges for like 15 reps a leg for like multiple sets across is not just about loading. It's about activity. They're getting lots and lots of reps in, which is just more movement inside that 1 hour, which if they're going to be sedentary the rest of the day, that's a good way to handle their training. Get them moving. You don't want them doing a set of 5 or 4 on a machine and then sitting there, to where when you calculate the total amount of work done versus the rest in a workout, they were sitting most of the hour when they're already sitting most of the day. That's kind of dumb. But anyway, that's a rant for another day. We're going to go ahead and knock this shit out. It's the end of the workout. I want to get the rest of my steps in and go eat. All right, let's go. Let's go. 30 of them. Oh. Ooh. Nice. Cool. All right, so hell yeah, man. Max effort upper was a success. That bench rep kind of turned out pretty clean. Those last 2 were kind of slow, but they were clean nonetheless. Full butt contact, no windmilling, no lagging. Leg drive was good. I'm just saying, dude, for a week 1, we're fucking killing it, dude. For a week 1, we're fucking killing it. Because I haven't done conjugate in the traditional sense that I'm doing it now in like 6 months. Yeah, like 6.5 months. Now we've been training that whole time. But my point is the exposures to max effort and dynamic effort and stuff like that hasn't really been there. We did a bodybuilding block, and then we did a speed block. So like we've gotten some pretty cool exposures to other stuff. And now we're back in it, dude, into the performance metric, the true background of my like 2 decades of training. So pretty dope to be back and feeling as good as I am, which should go to show that the bar to maintain your ability is pretty fucking low, bro. So if you get sick or go on vacation or maybe just fall off the wagon for a bit, don't beat yourself up. It is what it is, dude. Get back on track. Get back in there. And you'd be surprised probably how fast you bounce back. Now, I'm speaking probably from a higher horse than most because I can't even remember the last time I missed a workout on purpose. If I'm available to do it, I fucking do it. I mean, y'all saw me sprinting when it was raining. Y'all saw me sprinting when I had minimal food, poor hydration. I'm getting it done anyway. And that's not to like look at me and how cool I am. That's just like I value training so much, and training is the fun part and the easy part for me. So I'm always going to get that shit done. So maybe I'm speaking from a little bit of bias when I say that the bar is pretty low, but I honestly believe that though. I think the bar to maintain your gains and even make improvement is pretty fucking low. You just have to make sure the requisite intensity is there when you train. So training hard enough, don't train like a fucking wuss, and then just do it consistently. Whether that's 2 days a week or 3 or 4 or whatever the fuck, man. You just do it consistently. And if you fall off, well, man the fuck up and get back in there, man. Like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of misconstrued belief that like the bar is just so insanely high, but it's really not. It's really not. Whenever you see people doing like really like exaggerated programs, 7 days a week, fucking 2 days, all sorts of crazy shit. It's probably because those people love training and that's like their jam. That's what they fucking do. You know what I mean? Just like your hobby is whatever, those people, sorry, I'll edit that out. Edit what out? So just like you have your own hobby, training for those people is their hobby. So they're going to take it as seriously as you take yours, right? So always keep that in mind, man. I sincerely believe that the bar for training, goals, improvements, everything is super low. So anyway, with that said, I'm not going to yap for too long. It is what it is, dude. It's a great start to the week. Conditioning yesterday went well. I'll touch on this real quick. We were doing 5 sets of 2 minutes on the treadmill, and then my rest time was just however long it took my heart to get down to zone 2, the top of zone 2, and then I would go again. And it went really well. I mean, obviously coming off a speed block, I mean, my technique is locked the fuck in. Like I feel great. Obviously there's a huge difference between running for 5 seconds versus running for 2 minutes. So if anything, like my tibs were kind of experiencing some fatigue early, just because maintaining that level of dorsiflexion the whole time was just like that was tiring. But everything else felt fine. My heart beating through my fucking chest, which felt awesome because I haven't really done hard conditioning in a while. Everything's been Z2 just for recovery or Z1. So like that was cool to just spike the shit out of my heart rate a few times. And then I just did some ankle care, focused on steps. The weightlifting portion, I don't know if I touched on this yet. Originally, I was going to do traditional Olympic weightlifting as like a power primer, where I basically do cleans on Tuesday and snatches on Thursday, and I just use them kind of like jumps or throws. So it's super light, sub-max, barbell shit. Well, I had a last minute change where I was like, why do I even care? Because both of those movements take so much expertise to do. And they just require a lot of additional effort in bracing, and it's more axial load. And for what? Because I train for SBD. I don't train for the Olympic lifts. So a last minute change I did was I swapped both of those out for kettlebell progressions. So it's nothing fancy. We're like literally just progressing from a single kettlebell to a double kettlebell and then to like double kettlebell with one additional variable. So that covers 4, 8, 12 weeks, each progression for 4 weeks. So that's how that panned out, if anyone was curious. So tomorrow we're doing the snatch, the kettlebell snatch variation. I got conditioning intervals on the bike. So we're doing fan bike intervals, which I believe is 15 rounds, 15 on, 45 off. So it's fucking busting your ass for 15 seconds and then 45 chill. And then Z2 and ab stuff. Because I'm doing weighted abs usually once a week. I don't do it more than that. And yeah, and then we have dynamic efforts this weekend. So Friday and Saturday is the dynamic efforts. So anyway, that's all. Just wanted to kind of keep y'all up to date on the program. So I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.